Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your June 2021 reading.
Let's look into your energy today for the sun, moon, and rising signs. If you don't know your sun, moon, and rising sign, you can look in the description box down below for a free site that will take you to what you need. If this reading does not resonate with you, remember that energies can be reversed, means that you can assign the roles any way you like. But stick around because there may be something in the reading that you need to hear. These messages are timeless, and that means that even if you were to listen to this message a year from now or 2 years from now, if God brought you here, it's because there's something in it for you, whether it's today or in the future. If this reading does not resonate with you, it just means that I'm not picking up on your specific energy at the time. If there are cards in here that you want to resonate with you, but they're just not yet, that's okay, because all you have to do is go to the video, What Are They Thinking About You, April 2021, and at the end of that video, it explains on how to raise your vibration in order to match the cards that you're looking at and that you're wanting to bring into your life. Because all of manifestation is in your hands anyway. So if there's things in here that you like, great. Use it. If there's things in here that you don't like and it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. During this reading, the angels are bringing the Holy Fire Reiki energy to you. And at the end of this video, I will release the trapped emotions for your sign. I will let you know what essential oils and maybe even some crystals that can help maximize your energy. So check out the description box down below for all the details. If you like this reading or you were entertained in some way, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way you can get notified as soon as I post something new. So before we get started, what I'm going to do is talk about some major things that are going to be happening in June so that you can understand where we're going before we get into your actual reading. There's a new moon solar eclipse that's going to be happening on June 10th. We're going to talk about that. Also, Mercury Retrograde is going to be for the entire month of June. And then we just got out of a lunar eclipse, which you probably should be still feeling some of the effects from, which was really wild, crazy energy. So if you've been feeling off balance, that's why. I did a video about the lunar eclipse. That will be in the description box down below so that you can get some more information about that. And it's for all signs, so you can watch your sign or all of the signs. Doesn't really matter how you do it. It's going to be a very intense month from mid-May until the end of July. And that's just because of everything that's happening. But this month is very important for people because it's about changes. It's about surprises. It's about making the instability stable again. So eclipses, whether they are lunar or solar, the eclipses are very important because they make things appear, things that you didn't know before. Like for instance, there was a friend of mine who we went over her retirement for her, and she didn't realize how close she was to retirement because she just assumed that this pension was going to take care of her instead of realizing that she could have just taken that money out and put it in a Roth IRA, and then she could build up her own money for herself, opposed to giving it to the pension. That when she passes, the pension takes your money. You know, they may take care of you while you're alive, but what happens to your family and that extra money, that extra growth, right? She doesn't get the extra growth. The family would only get whatever she put in, which was very small compared to the growth, right? So that's what I'm saying. Something like that. You can get really big things that make sudden life changes for you, that make you go, you know, I really need to take a look at that again. And that's what's so important about the eclipse season, about the retrogrades. Please don't fear any of this stuff, because it's the thing that you go, man, I wish I knew that, because if I would have known that, I would have made a different decision. And it really is it can be a very positive experience for you if you go into the mindset that way, instead of the mindset of, oh my gosh, changes in my life, I think I'm done. You know what I mean? We don't need to do that, right? Okay. So, very interesting things. We're going to talk a little bit about Mercury Retrograde first before I get into your reading as well, because you need to know some things. Mercury Retrograde is about misunderstandings, miscommunication, restlessness. You might be jumping around to a bunch of ideas. So you may be feeling the effects of the lunar eclipse that we just had, where you might be feeling like you're pulled in a million places, or you just have so many ideas of things that you want to do. When we're in Mercury retrograde, we want to make sure that we don't jump to conclusions. That's really important. We want to make sure that we kind of wait on major decisions. It's not that you can't make major decisions. It's just really a month of planning is better. Because what can happen is if you make major decisions, quick major decisions like, let's get married. You know what I mean? Like you just met a person and you want to get married right away. It could turn into disappointment. You could backtrack a lot in the relationship, lots of redos. And then also we have where there's probably, because of the solar eclipse, there's probably going to be a large correction in the stock market, but it's going to be temporary. So those people who have money in the stock market, the best thing that we always do is we always just stay. Don't freak out. Don't pull your money out and create a panic. Because it's possible there's going to be a correction because of the energy and the planets. And so just be aware of that and take a deep breath, and whatever you do, try not to do major things like pulling all of your money out of the stock market because there was a correction and now you're like, oh, we're going to lose all of our money because of, in our Bitcoin and everything. Just don't do that. Just say, you know what, if I'm going to make any major decisions, it's going to be in the middle of July or the end of July. I'm just not going to do it right now, but I will make the decision. I'm just not going to do it right now. Because finances is a big thing with all of those planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Aquarius, all of those planets. Finances is really big for that. And finance is also really big when we're talking about the Mercury retrograde as well. We could spend too much, or we could plan for our future. So it's really whatever decision you're going to make. New moon solar eclipse is in Gemini on June 10th. That could bring on a correction around that area. But that right after that, though, Mars goes into Leo on June 11th, which is going to give everybody the courage to push forward to their goals. So even though we're going to be in Mercury retrograde, you are going to get this feeling of wanting to push it forward towards your goals. And that's fine. Just make sure that we're not starting a brand new business. It's good to start a business, but make sure we're in the planning stage and that you actually do the launch after the Mercury retrograde, which is July, the middle of July, okay? Now, June 12th, then we have Venus is very powerful, and then you're going to want to feel like going to parties and love and creativity and all of those things. And then June 13th, you're going to get more secrets revealed by the sun, because the sun is going to start shining bright and big in the solar system, so we're all going to get illuminated as well. So it's going to be a very, very powerful month. My job for you is to give you as much information as you can so that you can move through it. Please use the support of your friends. Maybe I'll even post a suicide hotline in case some of you guys need to talk to someone and you don't want to talk to your friends. Because it could, I'm not saying it's going to be that horrible, but it depends on your astrology and what you're going through in life and how many changes you're going to have. And so what I'm saying is the energy won't last forever. So for those of you who are feeling like you can't do this anymore or whatever, that could be a feeling, because whenever the energy is big and we're not understanding it, or we're not linking two and two together, then we could have that feeling. Some things that you want to remember for the Mercury retrograde is that you might be forgetful. It's going to pass. All of this is going to pass. You might have a hard time making up your mind about things. You might change your mind a lot, going back and forth. You might second guess yourself. You might have issues with your cell phone, your computer, your electronic devices. You might need to plan a little bit better for trips, road trips and car trips and plane trips. Just make sure you leave a lot earlier and a lot for more time. Like, don't leave at the last minute, because Mercury rules over communication and travel. So make sure that you are just giving yourself ample amount of time when you're driving. Try to get your car serviced before the retrogrades next time. And if you didn't do it, make sure you do it after the retrograde. Get your car serviced, get your cell phones and things like that repaired and stuff after the retrograde, unless you need it repaired right now. But just be aware that there could be a lot of back and forth with the repairs, and just let it go. Be what it is. Be very fluid through this time. It's not really a good time for making contracts. You can do it. You just have to look at all the details. You can't just go, okay, and sign it like you could at a non-retrograde time, or you have before at other times and everything was worked out, because you might not have all of the information to make a great deal. So that's why you don't really want to do contracts or promises or something like that during the retrograde. It's just because you may not have all of the information. You might want to buy something and think it's a great deal and then want to sign the contract, but then right after Mercury retrograde it goes on sale. So that's why you kind of want to wait. And so if you can wait, just say, hey, I'd love to do this with you. I think I'm just going to wait until the end of July. And I did that when I bought my house. So I found the house that I wanted during the retrograde. And I almost bought a house during the retrograde, but because I knew this, I was like, I don't know. And then I found out later that the house had a natural spring on it. And even the landscaper was like, I wouldn't have bought that house, which is really good because I ended up not buying that home because it was the retrograde. That's why I didn't buy it. And then I waited till right after into the shadow period. Then I found a house, and then we didn't actually sign the contract until the retrograde was completely over. So just so that you are aware of that, there are ways of working around it. And I was very clear with my realtor, I'm not buying a home during the retrograde. My realtor probably thought I was crazy because she didn't really know much about it, and I understand. But I know. And if you know, you can just be like, hey, if we can hold off on this, I'd like to. Now, if you've already been making plans for something for a really long time and the event happened in the retrograde, it's supposed to, and that's okay. So I have a lot of people who've been looking for jobs, and they're like, oh, am I not supposed to take a job right now? No, if you've been doing it well before, then yes, you totally can. If this is something that you've been doing for right before the retrograde and then it just popped up. Now, if a job pops up in the retrograde that you had not in your awareness, that could be a good thing because of the solar eclipse, but it might not be a good thing too. So be careful and make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and check every detail and ask for more information. Don't just assume. Don't assume anything during the retrograde. Make sure you're very clear about your communication. Make sure you know all the details about the job. Make sure that you know everything and see if maybe you can't hold off on actually signing the contract until the shadow period at least. Those are some things to kind of look at. I'll put the link to the dates of the Mercury retrograde in the description box down below as well, so that you can click on that and you can see all of the dates for the Mercury retrograde so you can plan your life accordingly and just in a very good way. All right, so before we get into your actual cards and the energy, we're going to talk a little bit about how Mercury retrograde is going to affect your actual sign. So the sign of Cancer is this card right here. And this energy is emotional, sensitive, caring, loving. It may concern family and a mother or a child. Okay, because that's actually the energy of Cancer. The energy of Mercury is how you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. And it's going to be affecting your 12th house, which is the area of your life that is overwhelming. You yield to greater cause or power. So that's where and let me explain this a little bit more. With Cancer, being that it's in the 12th house, this is more of the shadow sector. So more to the shadow side. I know Cancers are probably like, oh no, I'm a Cancer. I just went through something yesterday. It was not pretty. It was not fun, but it's all right. I lived. You will too. And I feel better for it. So you might feel a little disconnected from others, more into your head, wanting to pull away. A lot of self-reflection, introspection, retreating, recharging, resting, spiritual practices, and going within a lot. It's the same thing with Cancer. Cancer got the same thing. It's very spiritual movement for Cancer, for Pisces as well. Pisces got the same thing. It's very spiritual for Pisces as well. They're going to be up in their head as well, very spiritually connected. I told them the same thing, that through the retrograde, you're going to need, it's going to feel like you have a blindfold on, and you're going to need to really hone in with spirit and God and meditate a lot and really be connected in with your heart and yourself to know how to navigate through the murky waters, because it's going to feel kind of murky because you're going to be in your shadow sector, your shadow side. The shadow is very important work, so please don't discount this. Please don't fear it. It's very important work for you to move forward and move into the light. We have to get through the shadow to get through the light. Every time we go through a shadow period, we're talking about releasing karmic things. We're talking about getting rid of those things that are holding us back, and so we can move even more forward. This is probably going to be a time where you're going to get more spiritual insight, more spiritual gifts, just like Aquarius is getting more spiritual gifts this time. And I have a feeling, since you're so up into
higher realm, you're going to be probably getting some downloads, and you're going to need to take care of your body more than anything. The oils that came up for you are pink pepper and magnolia. We will go through those in this video later. Also, also releasing the trapped emotions. We're going to release anger in your gallbladder that's been there since the age of 7, and bitterness that's living in your liver since the age of 6. We'll do a meditative kind of practice to get you through releasing those emotions at the end of the video. All right, let's start looking at your actual energy for the sign of Cancer. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. This way you get notified as soon as I post something new. Because the retrograde is so unclear sometimes, I didn't really want to pull cards until we were in the actual retrograde. And the retrograde started on the 29th, which is my son's birthday. I don't do things on my children's birthdays that have to do with work. So I started doing videos on the 30th, and they ended up being really long because of the retrograde. When they're long like that, I can't do more than one, or I can't do more than 2. I did 3 and one of them didn't record. So it's like, so that's God telling me you can do about 2 and then you should move on, because it's a lot of energy and it's a lot of diving into what's going on. And I too am going through the murky waters. So it takes, oh, okay, so where is that? Cancer? Looking for the highest and best truth for Cancer's highest and best good. Bringing forth the most accurate answers. Okay, good. Whew. Thank goodness, Cancer. I'm a Cancer too. So when I see that card, it's like, oh, thank goodness. I love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, it's interesting because Pisces got the same type of card that they're coming out of the energy. Very nice. Okay, it's good stuff. I don't see anything that you need to be worried about. So definitely, let me clarify some of this. Okay, so I do see 1 tower, but it's going to be kind of further in the distance. Okay, it might just be, let's see what they tell me when we get there. Okay, the overall energy of this card is planning for the future. Pisces got that as well. Not as the overall energy, but definitely one of the outcomes of the card. This is a card where, so the overall energy is that you're going to get truths during this retrograde that will help you make a better future, plan for a better future, plan for something that you did not account for, you did not realize, you did not know. It's going to help you. It's kind of like I was saying earlier in the video where my friend didn't know that she could do this particular thing and then she could probably retire early with more money, blah, blah, blah. It's like that. Somebody's going to come to you with information that's going to open up a doorway for you that's going to make you want to plan in a different way and in a new way. Okay? Very good. So the energy that you're coming from is a full energy, a very free, fun-loving, free-spirited kind of energy, just loving life. Now, that doesn't mean that with the lunar eclipse that you weren't running all over the place like with the chicken with their head cut off, as you like Pisces are very similar, where you guys try to take care of everybody. And there was a lot of people going through stuff. I know, because my phone was blown up with texts from people. So I know a lot of people were going through stuff, and when they do, they kind of rely on Cancers and Pisces. And but you were feeling really good through it. It's just you may have been really busy though, okay? And it doesn't mean that you were feeling bad about that though. It's kind of just like, I got this. Now yesterday, I don't know how you guys felt, but yesterday was a really rough day for me. I was way in my head. And I did release some karmic stuff yesterday with the help of God. And it wasn't pretty and it wasn't fun, and what happens, and I was like, and I knew it when it was happening, and I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to do different? How am I going to not respond in the way that I've always responded before? Because I really want to release karma. So I'm not interested in living the rat race or living that cycle over and over and over again. I'm not like, I don't want to be a rat running around in a wheel. So every time I have something that's come up from the past or something that has to be re-examined, I always go, how did I handle this in the past? Did it work? No, it didn't, obviously, because it's coming back for me. So how do I handle it now? What am I going to do different? And I can't tell you I was very successful, but I know that I did try, and I did express that I was trying. And it worked well, and it worked out fine. And it wasn't pretty, but it worked out well. Okay? All right. So I kind of feel that with the energy. So here's the cool thing. Even though we're in a retrograde, and even though it's going to be up and down, back and forth and whatever, even though you're going to get that energy, you're still going to feel really good throughout the month. Thank you, Lord. You know what I mean? Thank you. I know the Cancers are like, oh my gosh, I'm saying the same thing. Thank you. What we're doing is this is the same thing. So I don't know if you guys have some Pisces in your chart. I do. So it's very interesting that this is coming up like that. But this is what's crossing over you. This was their overall energy for Pisces. But this is what's crossing over you. Now, Pisces is a water sign as well, so there can be very similar kind of feelings. But crossing over this happiness card is the card of setting your life up for success. It's a really good card. It's actually the 9 of Wands, so it's almost the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is when you put everything down. This is like putting everything out in the open, getting lots of realizations, and saying, okay, now I know this, and now I know that, and now I know this, and now I know that, and really putting, like I like to say, like putting it in the ground, you know what I mean? And this could be setting yourself up in each areas of your life and saying, this is love, and this is happiness, and this is this, and this and that. It's just a very deliberate way of moving through the energy, and that's going to be pretty good. So it seems to me like you're going to be really happy, but definitely, and this is like not just happiness. Let me be very clear about what this card is. This is the 10 of Cups. So this is like, see the rainbow? Like you can't get more happier than that. I mean, look at, if you turn it this way, it's a big old smile. A smile of a rainbow. We got kids playing, and we have a couple really happy, and they're just like looking at the universe and looking at the world, and just like, oh my gosh, I just love it. You know, it's like that type of energy. So you're going to be feeling really good. And then you're going to be looking at different areas of your life and being introspective about that, and really saying, okay, so this is what I now know. This is what I want to do about it. This is what I now know. This is what I want to do about it. And being very deliberate in your decisions is how I'm feeling about that card. Now, I know that you're asking about your manifestation. You've had a lot of manifestations that you put out in the universe. I was hearing, like, especially from your birthdays. So those of you who put out the manifestation, your 10 birthday wishes, and you're kind of like, okay, so like, how's that manifestation going, right? So I can't say that it's going to be moving too fast, because what I hear, or well, before I move there, the manifestation is what you have, the agreements that you've made with the universe. Like you're saying, okay, look, I put my manifestations down on paper, and this is what I said that I wanted, and how is that working out, universe? You're kind of asking the universe, so like, where are we at on that? Like, what's the trajectory? Where are we at on that? Like, you told me to do this, I did it, and now I still am in like waiting period. You know? So you're like kind of asking the universe, what's up? And what we have is the energy that's coming towards you is not a fast moving energy. It's actually the slowest knight in the deck, but that's okay, because you really don't want to be moving too fast through Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is a back and forth, and you don't want to skip anything. You don't want to miss anything. You really do want these karmic opportunities to go away. You don't really want them. If you go too fast, you're going to skip right over everything. So make sure that you're kind of moving in a slower kind of way. And so this is being very methodical about what you're doing. This knight, he's very successful. Now, there's no gender to the card, but he's very successful. He's very loyal, dependable. He's a protector, very secure, genuine. He's a planner. He's very steady. He's very long-term and very consistent. So I'm hearing that this could be a person coming into your life that is that way, where they've had money improvement in their life, they've been successful, they're feeling very loyal, or they're very loyal, you know, they're feeling really good, and they're coming at you with this type of energy. But remember, it's not a fast energy, it's a slower energy. So whether you're in this energy of kind of sowing instead of reaping, or kind of just sowing things, you could be, or somebody could be coming towards you with this energy of just being very dependable and very, very secure, and offering you that, offering you their long-term commitment to you. Maybe this there I'm hearing more strongly that this is a person. Normally I feel this is an energy, but I feel like this is a person coming towards you with this type of thing, which you're going to need, Cancer, in the Mercury retrograde. You're going to need this dependable person. You're going to need this planner. You're going to want this. You're going to want someone to take care of you for once instead of you always taking care of someone else. And that's what I'm feeling like this is going to be. That this person is going to show you this side of them, and you're going to feel like you have support in this world and that you're not alone. Oh, that's beautiful, because the energy of the retrograde can be so up and down that it sounds to me like the reason why you're going to be in this happiness and feel this happiness energy is because you're finally going to get this energy of just like security and love and patience and steadiness and consistent commitment. Wow, that's gorgeous. I love that. That's awesome. That's my love language, right? All right, so King of Wands is the energy that you're feeling in. That's a great energy because it means that you're feeling very communicative. You want to talk. You feel very wise. It's very interesting because it said that you're going to want to retreat, but I don't feel like that's the whole month. I don't feel like it's always. I feel like you're going to be very, very, very into the life, and then you're going to retreat a little bit, and then very, very into life, and then it's almost like whatever you learn, you're going to need to process. Learn, process. Learn, process. I kind of like that. Like, you're going to get information, now I need to process, because that's what this is. This is the card of planning. So you're going to be getting information, and then you're going to want to process what you heard and what you learned and what you felt and what spirit is guiding you towards and all of those things. Because whenever you get new information, you don't always take it for what it is. You always check in with spirit to find out, because the shadow side of Cancer is that you felt like you've been taken advantage of before, because you always see the good in everybody and you always see the good. So you're like, you're tired of being hurt. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this new stuff coming in, and then you're going to check in with God and be like, all right, so is this really what I'm feeling? Is this the love? I don't know why I got that. Right? That I've been searching for. Is it love that I'm feeling? Is it the love? Yeah, like you're going to check in. I don't know if it's actually love, but that's what I heard. I haven't heard of that song in like forever. I mean, that's like a 1980s song that I can't even remember the last time I heard that song. Anyway, so you might be thinking you're going to go in and definitely do that. So a couple other things about the King of Wands is he's very self-aware. No gender to the card. He's very self-aware. He will express himself. He is very cultured in life, very honorable, great businessman, and just a beautifully free spirit. So you're not losing your free spiritedness throughout the Mercury retrograde. It's just changing a little bit because you're going to be a little bit more connected in with spirit, I guess is what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say that. Now, the people around you are feeling really good. Your family, your friends, everybody is just like, the yellow is happiness, and we have blue, which is emotional happiness. We have that they might be fired up in their mind and like, hey, let's do this and let's do that, and that type of energy, and that's good. But I really feel like you got kids around you, you have support around you, you have it's beautiful energy around you. So you're not really taking care of people this month, so that's good. All right, so the overall outcome is this celebration. So this guy is on a horse and he's triumphing. He's like in that triumphant phase. Dun, 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 like you should have horns, you know what I mean? Like blowing some horns as he comes through like the village, right? So you're going to feel really triumphant. So this is at the end of Mercury retrograde, you're going to feel really good about everything that you did, everything that you went through. I don't see any tower moments through the retrograde, so that's good. So whatever's going to come up for you is not, it may be heavy, but it won't be heavy for days and days and days. It might just be heavy for like, I don't know, half the day, or like couple of hours. I don't feel like it's going to be heavy for too long. It's kind of like it's got to be heavy so you can release it. So some of the stuff will be heavy. Some of the stuff you're definitely going to need to take a step back and be like, all right, I need a breather. I will come back to you when I'm more balanced and when I'm more centered about what you know. I just got my boat rocked. I need to calm down. You know, and I don't mean to sound like crazy, but it's like I just saw like a very heightened sexual experience where you're just like, oh my God, like, thank you, but I need to lay here for a second. Like, I'm totally not, this isn't the time for conversation. Like, I need, like, not like I'm going to fall asleep or anything, but like, I have so much energy inside of my body from what just happened. I need to be by myself for a second. Nice. Okay, so anyway, so definitely moving forward. I have 2 cards of moving forward. This is a moving forward away from the past, moving forward now that you have things enlightened. You're like, okay, so it's almost like venturing into something new as well. So we have 8 of Cups. So this is also what I'm feeling with this card. What they're showing me is like they have everything, the 8 of Cups right here, and now they're moving forward to see if they can go get those other 2 cups and bring them back, and then we can have the 10 of Cups. Hey, right? And this definitely is a heavenly, spiritually guided thing. The Temperance is your angels and guides being around you through this process. You're not going to be alone. This is definitely like you moving forward is moving into your spiritual self, moving into just becoming more of who you are and more solidified within your solidifying the actual body and the spiritual body together. So there's a lot of that moving forward into exactly what you've been wanting to do. So I guess the answer to your manifestation card is that you are moving forward into manifestation, into what you've been asking for, because you've been asking about manifesting with Spirit. Spirit says, yes, I've been here the whole time. God says, yes, I've never left you. You are moving in the right direction. Don't worry. Everything's good. By the end of Mercury Retrograde, you definitely will be feeling that way. Now, 3 to 6 months from now, we have these 2 cards are just the best cards in the deck right here, and you have both of them. So during the retrograde, you're going to feel this, and then the outcome of the retrograde and everything that you're going to be going through is actually going to be the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is like raining down money. So snowing money, right? I mean, it's just beautiful. You got this couple right here who they're in line, they're connected, they're looking at each other's eyes, and they're just really like, and just enjoying each other, enjoying life. And then you got this old man saying that this is going to be something that lasts forever. And then you have these children and dogs and all of this stuff. I mean, you just have everything in this card. And so it's beautiful, okay? How are you going to get that? Well, we had to get through the Tower moments. We had to get rid of the old in order to move in through the new. You can't move into the new if you're holding on to the past. We're not going to hold on to the past anymore. And this was a gift from God that you just did not see coming. You did not see coming. Like if somebody would have told you that this was going to happen 5 years ago, you would have been like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? And so I kind of feel like that's what they're saying. Like this was always going to be, it was always going to be this way. And so definitely that's really, really cool. Like you got this gift from God. Something you didn't see was coming. And guess what? Here's this. You were moving towards the extra 2 cups. Well, guess what? You got 4 cups. So that's... what is that? 8 plus 4 is 12. So you have 12 cups now. Like there's not even a 12 cups card. There's no such thing as 12 cups. But you got it. You got 12 cups, right? So that's how beautiful it's going to be. That's how much of a gift it's going to be. So wonderful. Now we got these 2 oils. The first one is pink pepper, because you're going to be having some conversations that are going to bring up some enlightenment. And pink pepper is the oil of equality, intrinsic equality. So when you are having these conversations to help you get off your high horse, this guy's on his high horse, just joking. But in order for you to get on the level of, and the second oil is compassion. So these 2 oils together is equal compassion. Magnolia is such a wonderful oil. Both of these oils will help with kindness. You're already kind anyway, but sometimes we can get, especially if we've been in our head, or especially if we've heard news that that is not really what we wanted to hear, or not really what we were expecting, then we can sometimes get a little bit resentful or mean or bitter. And so what we want to do is make sure that we stay in kindness before we have any conversations. I would suggest that you use these oils. If you don't have any oils, there's a link in the description box down below. I only use doTERRA essential oils because they are the purest on the planet. There's no adulterations. There's no, I mean, it is what it is. It's exactly what it says. It is the oil. There is nothing added to the oil, except for like fractionated coconut oil if you dilute it down, that's it. But that's just the coconut oil. Anyway, you can get a $35 membership and just get these oils, which the membership will give you 25% off. That's the best way to buy, is to get it through wholesale. You'll get 25% off of wholesale pricing, and then it gets shipped right to your door. I would not buy anything on Amazon that are oils because there's too many people who, doTERRA is not on Amazon. So if you see doTERRA on Amazon, it's not really doTERRA. You should actually go through the company. Anyway, then if you want to waive that $35 membership, you could just get a kit. And the kit waives the $35 membership. You could just add on magnolia and pink pepper into your order, and then it will come to you in 3 to 5 days, right? Something like that. Anyway, so those are the oils that I would use. This one comes in a roller bottle. Just roll it on the bottom of your feet, roll it on your wrists. It smells pretty, so it's nice perfume. Men, if you don't want to smell pretty, no big deal. Just put it on the bottom of your feet. Pink pepper smells like, I don't know. It just smells like it doesn't smell bad. It's like I don't know if it's like a peppery smell. But you could just put, I can't really explain it. Anyway, you just put it on the bottom of your feet. You could diffuse it in your home. You could put it in this roller bottle and just put it together and just like kind of shake it up like that and then change the label on that. I mean, it's like so many things you can do. All right, the next thing we're going to do is your crystal, and then we'll do the releasing of your trapped emotions. Thank you so much for staying with me thus far. And if I'm feeling really good, I might even do one more video, which will make 3. We'll see. I have to just kind of check in first before I do that. Let's see what would be a great crystal for Cancer. Guys, you can put this in your pocket. You don't have to wear jewelry. Women, there's always all kinds of jewelry going on. And once I get 500 subscribers, I think I can do the affiliate program with Amazon, and then I can start putting links for this stuff. All right, I've never even heard of this crystal before, but I will show you what it looks like. It looks like, if I had to say it, aventurine. I'm not even sure if that's correctly pronounced right, but okay. And that is create your own luck. Oh, that's beautiful. So create your own luck. If you're not feeling lucky this month, go ahead and grab this crystal for you, put it in your pocket, and then you have the ability of creating your own luck. You have it anyway, but let's enhance that with some crystal, right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is release the trapped emotions. So go ahead and sit back and listen to the music. And we're going to invite Archangel Michael in, and your higher self, and your inner child, and your angels and spirit guides, your highest guides. And we're going to ask them to come in as we move through releasing these trapped emotions. And so breathe in so we can center ourselves. Find a comfortable place, whether you're sitting up or laying down. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look first at our gallbladder. And if you don't know where the gallbladder is, just pretend like you know where it is. And inside of your gallbladder is this thing called anger. At 7 years old, there was something that made you really, really angry. And it's interesting, as I say that, something popped in my mind because I am Cancer. So yes, I remember that 7-year-old experience. I don't know if you remember it, but if you don't, you can think about something that's making you angry today that's showing up in your life, that you can use that experience to help you release this with the 7-year-old self. So I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Imagine your gallbladder. And we are going to ask Archangel Michael to help us release the anger living in our gallbladder that's been there since the age of 7. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. So anger's black. What I want you to do is I want you to see the black blackness. And I want you to breathe in, and as you breathe in, I want you to imagine the blackness like breaking apart into a ball, and it's going to come out, right? So breathe in. Imagine that breaking apart. Breathe out. But as you breathe out, you notice it's becoming a big old ball. This time we're going to breathe in, and we're going to breathe out so hard it pushes the ball out of your body into the atmosphere. Ready? Breathe in. And breathe out. Very good. And that right there, your angels and spirit guides are going to take that ball, and they're going to turn it into light energy for you, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I want you to come back to this recording as many times as possible whenever you feel angry, or before you have any conversations with anyone, so that they might not trigger your anger, right? So if you know you're going to have a big conversation, come back and do this releasing of this emotion, so we don't have this plaguing that conversation. The next thing that we're going to do, the bitterness in your liver at the age of 6. So breathe in and imagine your liver. Imagine it being polka dotted with a whole bunch of bitterness. And this time when you breathe out, you're going to make all the polka dots turn into a big old ball outside of your body. Ready? Breathe out. Breathe in. Get more of it. Breathe out. Now it's in a big old ball outside of your body. I want you to imagine that. And we're going to blow it to our angels and guides. Ready? Breathe in. And breathe hard. Breathe out. Your angels and spirit guides are going to take that bitterness, and they're going to turn that into light energy. And we're going to make sure that we come back to this video every time we need to get rid of some bitterness. Every time before we have a conversation with someone that might trigger some bitterness. Any important conversations in the month of Mercury Retrograde, because, and I felt it yesterday, I felt anger and bitter. And I wanted to feel compassion, but I just didn't. So I wish I would have done this before I had that conversation. So I'm glad that I have this available for you, so that you can come back, and we're going to thank your angels and your spirit guides and Archangel Michael for helping us get rid of this anger and this bitterness that's been living inside of our body since we were little. And we appreciate all of that. So thank you so much, Cancer. I appreciate you coming. If you like this reading or entertained in some way, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified as soon as I post something new. Have a beautiful day, Cancer.